Detroit Lions on the road at the Dallas Cowboys. Detroit Lions coming off of a bye. This should be the healthiest version we've seen of them since week 2. And we remember in weeks 1 and 2, this offense, not the defense, but this offense was kind of the talk of the NFL. They were lighting up scoreboards. Amon-Ra St. Brown was lighting up the box score. Jared Goff was actually playing semi-decent. DJ Chark, Swift, everybody was going and moving really, really well. Now, that being said, last few weeks, there's been injuries. The offensive line got nicked up. But you think that the time off has this team as close to healthy as we've seen since week 2. On the other side of the ball, we got the Dallas Cowboys, where Dak Prescott has declared himself as the starter for the Dallas Cowboys. We do know that he was officially medically cleared, and so we will have Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys. They are 7-point home favorites here over the Detroit Lions. 49 is your total. Steven, I guess the question becomes this: is there any pause for us in betting the Cowboys or backing the Cowboys with Dak Prescott coming off of an injury, his first game back, that is not an ankle or a whatever? It's a hand where, I don't know if you know this or not. I've never been to 1 second of medical school, but I think throwing the football, having your hand being healthy is fairly important. So there is at least that for us to deal with.
With that analysis, I would accept your med school application.
Yes,
Sounds pretty solid to me.
As you should.
I remember a few weeks ago, Adam was very upset because Dak Prescott got hurt, and it robbed us of the opportunity of fading this Dallas Cowboys team when they were getting all kinds of market respect. Well, we're back, baby. The Cowboys are 7-point favorites against a team that is the backdoor king in the Detroit Lions. Great spot for Detroit coming off the bye week, getting fully healthy. DeAndre Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown should be good to go. And we're talking about a Dallas team who is still one of the most undisciplined teams in the National Football League. They are still 27th in penalties per game with more than 7 per game, just like they were last year under Mike McCarthy. Dak Prescott, first game back. Maybe he's good, maybe he's rusty. So I think the shellacking at the hands of Bill Belichick has started to color the picture a little bit too much here for Detroit. They were down a lot of key pieces in that game. Again, Swift and St. Brown. But if you take that game out of the mix, this Lions offense is 8th in EPA, 2nd in rush EPA, but below average in success rate across the board. So they're not necessarily consistent, but they have been explosive. And we're talking about a Dallas team who, when they get a lead under Mike McCarthy, has kind of gotten conservative. They don't stay aggressive. They tend to run the ball, let Zeke eat a little bit. The Dallas defense is legit. I think we would all agree they're probably a top 5 defense in that mix with the Niners and the Bills and Denver, maybe Tampa Bay. But there's a bit of a conflict in their rush D stats, which I'm curious to kind of get your guys' opinion on here, because if you look at grades from Football Outsiders DVOA, from PFF, this is a pretty not good rush defense for Dallas, which should be a good matchup for Detroit's run game and their offensive line. The DVOA has them 31st against the run. PFF rush defense has them 28th. But if you look at EPA and success rate, they actually grade out really well. They actually grade out like way above average. So I'm not really sure what to think about their rush defense in this game. And I think that's a really important part of the handicap because of what Detroit wants to do. So I haven't pulled the trigger on 7, but if we were to get a 7.5 minus 115 here, I would be in on the Lions.
Yeah, so for me, nothing in my account right now, Adam, but I'm wondering if when the general public, we know that, air quote public teams and teams that people like to bet, I don't necessarily know if that applies now that we are, everyone's betting across the country and things like that or whatever. But the Dallas Cowboys officially announced Dak Prescott in. I'm wondering if we get the 7 and a hook. And if we get the 7 and a hook, I think it's going to be too much for me to lay off with the Detroit Lions. And I want to ask you this, like if the one thing that we liked about the Lions coming into the season was this offensive line, and this offensive line has had now a bye week to get healthy. According to the beat writers, everybody we thought that was going to be out there is going to be out there this week. And the one thing that we like about the Cowboys is the pass rush. Well, shouldn't the Lions offensive line be able to negate this Cowboys pass rush enough to where the Cowboys with a, again, fresh off the IL, fresh off the injury report here, Dak Prescott, keep it within a touchdown.
You would think so. And if you look at Jared Goff's numbers, both when blitzed and under pressure, they don't take a significant drop off, which I guess is fairly surprising considering what we think to be Jared Goff, right? In fact, Jared Goff's average depth of throw under pressure goes up by 2.5 yards. So it's almost like it encourages him to be a little bit more aggressive than he normally would be in the offense. Now, as you said, the beat writers say that Detroit is going to be a bit more healthy, but if you look at the injury report, you see that Chark and Swift are still on there, and that is a little bit concerning to me. I think I'm going to use your angle, Matt, and flip it around for where I'd like to go with this game and say if Dak Prescott officially gets announced and this game steams up, I'm looking for the under. And right now it's sitting 49. Obviously, that's a very key number in the NFL. I wonder if Dak Prescott coming back really has that much effect on what the Dallas Cowboys are trying to do offensively, right? I don't think it changes a whole lot in what they're doing. And yes, I believe that the Detroit Lions will probably be an offense that looks closer to what we saw in week 1, et cetera. But let's remember what that offense was. Yes, they put up 35 points in week 1. They did most of that once they were down by 3 scores. I don't think they're going to be down by 3 scores against Dallas and just be slinging it all over the field. So ultimately, I think what it's going to do if Dak is announced is have a little bit more of an effect on the total. And again, look at the fact that the total is 49. Normally, in what we've gotten used to in the NFL, we'd say, oh, well, 49. Yeah, that's about right? It's the second highest total of the week.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm hoping at some point throughout the course of Friday, they make the, Jerry Jones goes on every radio station in Texas, and whatever and all this and declares that Dak Prescott is starting no matter what, and that's his guy and whatever. And then that maybe people will react to that. So I think that there is, again, if you're watching this, listening to this, see if any news affected this line or not. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for in this one.